Ever since Robin was first introduced into the story, she's been a favorite character of mine. The potential of this woman out of nowhere showing up with this immense sense of power and fear, essentially, being a villain that, we are all seemingly supposed to absolutely despise, yet at the same time, she actually tries to help Luffy, and there's this weird ulterior motives that we sense more and more as we get through Alabasta, with her saving Luffy, her sort of disdain and lack of trust in Crocodile. There's a lot of factors that make Miss All Sunday herself an interesting character, and this only gets more and more interesting as we learn more about not Miss All Sunday, but the person behind her, Nico Robin. Someone from the island of O'Hara who has tried desperately to find the truth of the world, to avenge her island, and really know what the world government is behind. This led to the pivotal arc, a pivotal arc of the pre-time skip, Enies Lobby, and it seems at this point, Wano is the second coming of Enies Lobby. This is something I've believed for a while, because all the stuff that comes after Wano I would feel would be the Marineford of the post-time skip, where some pivotal event has happened that has led everything to change forever, which was obviously the Straw Hats declaring war on the world government, and next would be the Straw Hats taking down the Yonko. Lucci's return into the story definitely exemplifies this belief. But now that Lucci has returned, a main question that a lot of people have at the moment is, what exactly is Robin's role in the story? Obviously, many high-powered people in the world see her as a massive threat and a tool that they can use to find the One Piece and really learn the secrets of the world. The world government is literally heading to Wano to ensure that Kaido and Big Mom's plans are stopped in their tracks, and even while they have that main goal, they still have that goal lingering around of capturing Nico Robin. She is considered that much of a threat that Kaido and Big Mom's taking down is not as seen as important as ensuring Robin's capture. They still consider her that much of a threat, even though there are other people, like Big Mom even says, Pudding might have this ability in the future, but they're after her immediately because she's in a very high power crew, the Straw Hats. What does Robin's capture mean for the story continuing from this point forward? This is something that I've considered for a really long time in the story, because I wasn't really sure how exactly Luffy was going to get to Mary Joie, and I think that Robin's capture is a really great vehicle for this to happen. Now, let's say Robin does actually get captured in Wano. I'm not sure if it's going to happen at this point. Maybe it'll happen on Elbaf. I don't really know. But I feel as though Robin's capture will be the inciting incident that leads Luffy to going to Mary Joie to actually save her. Because I feel as though Luffy doing this really heady thing where it's like, I don't want to be the freest man on the sea, I want to free everyone on the sea. That's just not in his character. Luffy is inherently pretty selfish, and we've seen this before. Ever since Jinbei said he has to be the hero, Luffy said, I don't want to be the hero. The hero has to share the meat. I want the meat all to myself. Now, obviously, this shows Luffy has one person in mind only, even though obviously he cares about others. His instinct is his primary, that's what he goes off, his instinct. He's a very instinctual character. And having Robin get captured by the world government, the person that tried to capture her and kind of suffocate her more and more into being essentially hopeless the entire time, would probably set Luffy off a lot. And this is why I think this is a really great decision if Oda actually does go through with having Robin be captured by the world government once again. A lot of people might consider this retreading. However, I think this is actually completely different. Luffy is now a massive figure in the world and has garnered a fleet of thousands and thousands of people. This could be the inciting incident that kicks off the greatest war this world has ever seen. Doflamingo literally had that massive, amazing page showing all the Yonko, the Marines, the Revolutionaries, the Supernova, the Warlords, and it just puts us into the eyes of the people in the One Piece world to see just how many key figures have the potential to start or really be a part of this massive war. Now, what I think is so important about Nico Robin being the one who is captured and leads to her, entire crew going after her, it just makes sense for Luffy's character, but also it makes sense for many other key figures at this point to follow along as well. Robin was the only one of the Straw Hats to ever really meet with the Revolutionary Army, and coincidentally they were highlighted as this massive point in the war. Aokiji, one of the admirals, was really close to Nico Robin, but also Sakazuki is, and he is now the fleet admiral, so he knows how threatening she is, and actually holds this massive vendetta against her for being the one that got away from Ohara. For the warlord, she was obviously the head subordinate and essentially the partner of Crocodile, one of the first warlords we've ever met in the series, and the first warlord that Luffy has taken down. And for the Supernova, obviously it's not as, connective with their connections with one another, but obviously Robin has been on Luffy's crew and seen many of the Supernova, and Robin, being one of the few people who actually reads the newspaper in this story, funny enough, actually knew about many of the Supernova before even approaching Sabaody Archipelago. I thought that Robin's connections to all these unique forces that specifically Doflamingo of all characters is highlighting was pretty interesting, because Doflamingo knows that there's some secret the world government's hiding, that the Celestial Dragons are hiding some crazy thing, and Robin being the thing that could unlock and show the entire world all of that through Luffy makes her such a threatening thing. Now, Pudding is also that threatening thing, but Big Mom said herself she hasn't awakened her power yet, so it's obviously not as bad. What I'm getting at is Robin's capture leads to all of the forces converging on trying to get information out of her, or their relation to her causes some sort of spark that, oh no, what is going to happen moment. I feel as though Robin's key connective tissue with many of these forces will evidently lead them all together in order to converge and have the greatest war the world has ever seen. I think it's pretty interesting that the one person who knows the history of the world, well, not knows, but has the potential to unlock the history of the world, is what causes all of it to fall apart. I think it's really, really poetic, and I think for the future of this arc, we are definitely going to learn more about the past, hopefully the God Valley incident, hopefully some insight on Rocks and what he might have learned in the past. I'm not entirely sure at the moment, but what I'm getting at is Robin being the specific key to unlock the greatest war in the world definitely makes sense in my opinion. One last note I would like to make about Pudding is there's a really popular theory going around that Blackbeard is actually heading to capture Pudding since Big Mom is on Wano. I think it's really fascinating because that would allow Blackbeard to also have his basically way of conniving and scheming to learn the secrets of the world first by not actually garnering a new crew member, but stealing someone else. Very in line with Blackbeard's character and motivations, because he knows how to manipulate the system and find the pros that he can through other people's swerving decisions. I think it's really interesting, and I think if that does actually happen, I'd be pretty happy, I'm not gonna lie. Another possibility is that maybe, this is like the strongest maybe out of this whole video, but Momonosuke's clan, the Kozuki clan, has obviously had the Poneglyph language passed down for a really long time. Say Toki is alive. We don't actually know yet, but I still am on the train that she might be. Say she is alive. She could teach Momonosuke or Hiyori or whoever, probably Momonosuke, if many people consider him a crew candidate at this point still, the secrets of the world, the Poneglyph language, and say Robin does get captured in this arc, Momonosuke could be the surrogate Robin for that role. I don't know. Could be kind of interesting. Not entirely sure. I don't really want Momonosuke to know the language just because he was aged up. I think that would be pretty stupid, because Momonosuke has been the same character he was at the early sections of the story, so literally just an 8-year-old still, and I don't want him to just know a language out of nowhere. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the possible endgame of the story coming up with Robin's capture. I find it absolutely fascinating. I hope you can kind of feel the enthusiasm I have through all the possibilities and how Robin connects to everyone. I just think it's really, really cool, and this is something I've been hoping for a really long time, because I feel as though, well, and I felt as though that Wano was an Enies Lobby-esque arc, and Lucci's return really cemented that in for me. So I'm just ecstatic. I'm really, really happy with the way this could be progressing in the future, and I'm really excited to see what's next. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy. What do you think is going to happen with Robin and Wano? Do you think she's going to be captured here, or maybe in Elbaf, like I said? I don't know. I'm just very curious to see what Oda comes up with. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more One Piece content, here's some playlists right here, and hope you have a good one.